Hey everyone, welcome back to more Flesh and Bad, and today we're going to be taking a little bit of a break from our S tier boy right here. I've been working a little bit on kind of like the post Jarl deck kind of list, and it's pretty similar. Again, nothing incredibly new here. But today I wanted to take a little bit of a break from Zen, and we're going to be doing F tier Fridays, which means we're playing Jarl Betrayed, who I don't actually think is F tier, but it's funny and it'll make some people mad. So that's why we're sticking with the title. But I've been kind of brewing with this like kind of like light splash earth decompose Jarl list. I've been kind of liking it. So let's kind of talk about it a little bit. Again, we're not running what's it called, Summit, because that card kind of sucks. Just being a 2-card 6. Again, I kind of want to make generally more efficient plays than having a 2-card 6. It might replace like Titan's Fist at some point. I'm not entirely sure. I think like one of these three weapons is probably going to be like the best weapon. But we're running like just very generically good equipment, like Crown of Providence. You can use to kind of like sync a lot of your like arsenal targets. Like let's say if you like fuse an Oakenold and arsenal something random, you can like fish it out. It's pretty good. Rootbound Trunks is kind of just to fuel decompose, so we're not running the prevention boots. These are more so just so we can like fill graveyard early if we need to. And then nothing crazy here. Summer's Fall is kind of cyber. This is actually the Enigma matchup. Let's look at the normal matchup. So this is kind of what the normal matchup looks like. And then we got like a little bit of a sideboard here for like Enigma and some reacts and stuff. We also are just running Sludge because I think Sludge is pretty good in the mirror. I think it's a little bit better than like Summit, for instance. And yeah, that pretty much is it. Again, just very, very generically good Jarl stuff. I think Icequakes and Frostfangs are also very, very good to just like play off Tunic. So like if you do Icequake into Felling of the Crown, your opponent just like loses on the spot. It's really, really good. Yeah, so I don't think this hero is actually F tier. Again, people I think he struggles into Enigma, I think is his biggest thing, so I guess that does kind of make him F tier, but I think he's like actually kind of all right, and he's been a lot of fun to play at least, or like to kind of like experiment with. I don't think he's like completely solved at this point, but it feels like I've got like a pretty dang good list here, if I had to say. So let's go ahead and give it a shot, and I'll see you all in the games. All right, this is the hardest matchup. Let's see if we can beat an Enigma. It is very, very difficult. Let's try to use the Enigma board. So this is kind of like the 60 that I'm envisioning. Again, I don't know if you can probably make it a little bit better with more like Summer's Falls, but again, you're kind of adding like blue Summer's Fall at that point, which is a little bit sus. So let's go ahead and run it as is though. Again, this is one of Jarl's, I think, tougher matchups. I do think you still want Stalagmite and Titan's Fist, even though they also are not great. I think most of your damage and like disruption is coming in the form of just your like generically good fuse cards. I'm also not entirely sure whether or not I want to go first or second to Enigma. It feels like probably, I don't know. It's a good question. Again, I have like 20 or so reps on this deck, but I've actually been doing like pretty well in testing. All right, we got a Mage Master Boots, which is terrifying. We can theoretically prevent getting 10k'd here. No, we can't. But maybe it's worth trying to do anyways. I guess we'll just play the Blizzard. Because they can just attack with this and then play 10k afterwards. Which would suck, but at least we have the Summer's Fall to kind of deal with that. The problem is we don't have the Decompose for it yet. Oh, they did pitch a 10k. Wait, does that just mean they have another 10k? Wait, why would they ever pitch that card? I feel like fueling Decompose is kind of reasonable, and then just holding onto the pummel seems like the best bet, but like them pitching a 10k almost implies that they just have another 10k in hand. Wonder if even like Stalagmite here might be worth it. Maybe. Okay, so I figured that was right. Okay, let's hope we can actually deal with that because that's terrible. All right, well, let's see if we can play against a non-MSD deck and see how we do. All right, we got the Jarl Mirror. I think I want to go first in the Jarl Mirror And then we're bringing in our Sludge. Probably want some seeds. Probably want to react. And then what do we not want? We can just fat deck a little. I think it's probably fine. All right. So we can start out with Sledge. Or you just start out with like Mangle for 8. It's also not terrible. I feel like Sledge is probably fine. They are also an Earth Jarl, though. I think I'm just supposed to pass. Because I don't want to fuel their graveyard this early, if I can help it. Alright, they're playing Spinal, which is interesting. I think we're going to go ahead and just block out a little bit here. Yeah, sure. Alright, so we're holding on to a Summer's Fall. That's fine. I think we're just sledging on our turn. Feels weird to block with. Maybe we want to Mangle in the deck. Maybe we block with, like, these two. Seems okay. So leak 3 here, which is not terrible, but not great. And send in the Sludge. I do like to see a fellow Sludge gamer, though. It's very interesting. Alright, Summer's Fall blocking for 2 is not great. But I guess it is just good for, like, Earth Decompose value. It's probably not terrible. Okay, and then we see a Mangle for 10. We know they have a Summer's Fall in Arsenal. What do we do with this information? We can sink below it just for value. And then do E-Strike into Sledge. Seems pretty reasonable. Ooh, they're also playing Amulet Vice. Very, very, very spicy. Okay. This is the one matchup where I think Jarl is not F tier, because both players are playing Jarl. Alright. Sink below. I think we can just get rid of seeds, because maybe find something a little bit better. Fruits is interesting. I do want that in the graveyard for Decompose, if I can. Is that better than Sledging? I feel like we're losing out on 4 value by putting a Fruits. I guess like 2 value by putting a Fruits in the graveyard, but we do get Decompose, so... It's close. Part of me just feels like Sledge is better and we should just like decompose naturally, maybe. I feel like that's probably smart. So let's just do Gogan on this. Could get punished by like a blizzard or something. So I guess we maybe should have bought him frozen to death before the other card. Well, we are getting our Sludge value in, which I think is very good. I think this will be a little bit of a race to see who finds Crumble first. Alright, we have Summer's Fall decomposing. They're also on Insidious Chill, which is very interesting. So what does our turn look like? I feel like it's imposing tutoring for Crumble, just to try to get rid of their Tunic, and then we Sledge. Seems alright. We will take 6 here, which is fine. They do have 2 decompose. It's interesting. I think this is fine. I think getting the first -1 counter on an equipment is probably pretty important, just for like the long-term value of the game. Not 100% sold that these Ice Quakes should be in the deck. Maybe they should. I guess in the deck for this matchup. I think this card is just like very, very solid though. Especially if you are on Tunic. Alright, we'll get our Crumble, put it on Tunic, and then we'll Sledge. I do think they started off with a couple more cards than I did. But we've kind of been making that back with the Sledge, I feel like. Alright, here we see a Spinal. They do have Tunic up, notably. So we do have to play around... Okay, so we have to play around Pummel a little bit. But it's not the end of the world here. So this is the Earth card that will go to graveyard, and then we have other Earth card in hand, which can go to graveyard. So what if we take this, then the problem is what? The problem is that we can't E-Strike, basically, but we can Fruits plus Rootbound, then Felling, which would bottom this. So we should block with the E-Strike, probably. And then I guess we should also block with, like, Autumn's Touch. Maybe. No. I think it's just an E-Strike block. And then we just play Rootbound. If they go for Pummel, then we discard a card, and then we just send Felling on our turn. Seems okay. I think I'm fine with this. Alright, we'll Rootbound here. Pass. Alright, Crumble will go to graveyard. And then we'll play out the Fruits for the ability just to get in there. And then we'll send the Felling. Notably, I think they have blocked with one Felling already, so that's, I think, good for us. Ooh, and they will expose the Elements us. Okay, interesting card. So they can break our Tunic here if they want. I think. No, we will not pay. Sure. So that's pretty bad, but do have Felling live. This card is, like, not terrible, honestly. It's just kind of anti-tempo. And speaking of anti-tempo, this hand is not amazing. I think what we're going to do here is just double overpitch into Sledge. I guess Rootbound. And then Arsenal Sync. Then we can save Seeds in case they like CNC us. Okay, opponent is also running Oasis. Very spicy. Okay. They are prepared for the Jarlmere. Oh, with Heart too. Jesus. Okay. Alright, they get their own Crumble. And they're going to play out a Frostfang. Sure. So what do we want to do here? We could Seeds it, but then we're losing out on our CNC. We could also just double block with Unforgetting. And then we could play a Mangle at them, which is like semi-threatening, but also they can pretty easily block. Then we'd also have to discard a card, I guess. So I think we're just CNCing in our turn and then blocking with this not tutoring Mangle. Well, not tutor Mangle. You have a Frostbite, so we can't just Sledge if we wanted to, unfortunately. Curious if this is like a full CYB list. I feel like if that's the case, we're probably not in a great spot. But they haven't played a CYB out yet, I guess. Okay, blocking with Plowhunter and Oakenolds. Yeah, I wonder if Plowhunter is actually worth considering. Just for extra Earth. Just doesn't feel great to run a lot of the time. Alright, so we do want to play out our own Felling, ideally. What do we want at bottom of the deck? I guess CNC is like a pretty good bottom. And then we can block with like CLF here. Block with CLF, play out Felling of our own. Seems reasonable. Do we want to just react here too? We could. Let me make sure I have enough Earth cards. I do. That's good. I feel like this is fine. I don't think we need to sink this. I feel like I want to save this for like Oakenold, ideally. So take a bit of damage here. Sure. And then we'll send in our own felling. And banish Winter's Grasp. I don't think it really matters. Would really like to see one of our ways to break Tunic. So you have like Frozen to Death. Mangles. Oh, they're playing Snow Under too. Very interesting. Okay. I'm assuming they're going to try to like Sludge on their turn unless they have something a little bit better. Pounder is definitely better. So a little bit punished here for not using Sink Below earlier. But not the end of the world. We can just send a Manglar, turn Arsenal to pummel. Sure. All right, well, Arsenal. I guess we're just gonna keep the hand. Send 8. Interesting they're giving gauntlets here. I guess maybe all 2 blocks in hand kind of makes sense. Alright, we're Arsenal Pum. Ooh, we do have an Oakenold though. That is good. So we're... Oh no, we can't do it though. Shit. Yeah, the Frostbite's really good here. Could CLF plus Sledge. That works, right? And I guess we can pitch stack an Oakenold. Yeah, it's a little bit unfortunate there. Yeah, I guess it's fine. So we'll go ahead and pitch Winter's Bite here. Exposed Elements was really, really good against us. And then we're sending in the Sledge. There might have been consideration, actually, that just playing Oakenold there. Or just, like, playing it out for 7. I think there's, like, some merit to that, but I do kind of like the idea of pitch stacking a little bit. Alright, we do find our Frozen Death, which is good. I guess the problem we're facing right now is that we have a CNC coming in. Could Crown and get rid of it. Then we can, like, Imposing Visage plus Frozen to Death, most likely. It's a pretty solid play. Alternative is to block 6, send 6. Which I don't love. Oh, they do have Tunic Interrupt, but they can't pummel, obviously. I feel like I want to go for like the higher value line here. So I feel like I want a Crown. It does make the pitch deck a little bit weird with the Oakenold we put on the bottom, but maybe it's fine. Alright, so put the Arsenal on the bottom. Do we have Crumbles left? We do have 1 Crumble left, I think. Alright, so let's go ahead and Crumble. Pay 0. Then we can Frozen to Death their Tunic. This will also get rid of their Coronet Peak just in case, but I don't think they're probably going to use it very much. Then we can Frozen to Death, pitching Winter's Bite, revealing Polar Blast, Arsenal this. Seems pretty good. Go ahead and get rid of the Tunic. And then we get to also keep our CLF around, which is really, really good. Alright, they are doing their own Frozen to Death. Interesting. Cold Snap. Do we care about that? Not really, I don't think. I don't think we really care about this. So sure, we will not pay one. I feel like we're a little bit behind just because they've gotten a lot of value off their frostbites. I think that exposed elements actually probably lost us the game if we do lose. We do have Sludge coming in for 6. I think we're probably just blocking with the open old and then sending 6 in our turn. Seems fine. We unfortunately do not get to keep this around. Although we do get Dominate on Sledge for what that's worth, I guess. I don't think it's worth much. Care Center is interesting. Sure. Ooh, I do like Felling. This might be a problem, though, with the Terra Center. Yeah, this is quite bad. So we can actually pulse this. I guess that's like probably the play, but it feels quite poor. Then I guess what are we doing? This hand is really bad. I guess we can like play out Polar Blast and try to dig for something. So we'll block with the last Gauntlet and then pulse it. And then I guess we're just pitching Icequake to play out Polar Blast, which feels really bad, but I think it is what it is. Is there merit to just taking this? If we take 6 and then we discard these 2 and then we felling them? It might be better, honestly. Is that better? Discard these 2. Send in 8 plus get rid of a card. I don't. That feels better to me almost. I think I'm gonna do it. Like we lose out on a bunch of value, but we make a bunch of it back, like on offense. I don't know if that's right. Unforgetting Unforgiving, notably, it also does not get a mangle here, which is kind of cool. All right, another Amulet Vice. Sure. 2 yellows with Winter's Bite. I feel like I probably just want to discard here. So we'll not pay 2. We'll discard a Rootbound. And I think on our turn we're just sending 7 with E-Strike. I guess we could also Polar Blast first and see what we draw into. It's probably worth it, right? Just because we can bottom whatever we draw into E-Strike, and then we also play out the Polar Blast. Seems reasonable. Draw Mangle, which is not great, but we can at least now Arsenal Rootbound. And then let's just do E-Strike for Gogan, or Buff Power. Yeah. Did we block with Gauntlets originally? That was probably wrong if we were just taking the 7. Because now I guess they have like another slot to give us a Frostbite. So I think when I changed the plan, I think I blocked one with the equipment, but I think it might have been better to just no block it, discard the 2 cards, and then we have 8, and then we also have the arm piece up. Maybe at 4 effectively, but that's probably fine. They're just passing. Interesting. What do I want to do here? Frostfang I don't think is like amazing, but does give them a frostbite, which I guess is pretty high value. We could also frozen to death, but that takes us off tempo, which I don't love. I feel like we're just me getting rid of seeds here just because we already have a card that we can react with in Arsenal, so I don't think we want to like clear our Arsenal anytime soon. So I feel like developing out Frostbite and then sending Frostfang is probably the most efficient thing we could be doing this turn. I think the one from the Frostbite might be a little bit more significant than Sledge, and then we also get to hold on to 2/3 blocks. All right, another Oasis. It's not incredibly efficient because now they have to give an extra 1 to this. I guess the boots are the extra 1, so I'm still kind of fine with that. All right, they come in with the CNC. They don't have Tunic, obviously, so we don't have to worry about that. I think we're just blocking 6 here and then sending 6 on our turn. Just normal Guardian things. They have Lunging Press here. They got me, I guess. Sure. All right, send 6. All right, they block with their own pummel, which is good. All right, lots of reacts here. Probably not a great thing for me given some other plays. Oh, they're in it. What do they fuse? They fused Frostfang. Okay, they're gonna start popping their amulets. So I think we're fine to discard here. So I'll not pay 2. Because I assume they're gonna pop their other amulet. And then we can just send 6 on our turn. Seems fine. Like, they're taking a lot of, like, anti-tempo lines, I feel like. It's kind of working out for that. Like, I don't think it's, like, wrong. I'm just wondering if the amulet devices are even, like, really worth it. They feel kind of mid. Alright, they're gonna pop the other one too, so we will not pay, we'll discard another sink, and then pass back. Pop our Sledge on our turn. I just want to be always attacking them if I can. Like, I think we're past the point where, like, the equipment stuff matters, really. The Frostfang in Arsenal does make our react a little bit worse. For me, it's okay. Right, 2/3 blocks, sure. Right, here comes Frosty. So they can't have pummel here. So I think, again, we're just going to take the line that lets us Sledge every turn if we can. And unfortunately, we can't like root bound this, but I think that's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Sledge every day. This is real Sledge gaming. Oh, and they're running 2 blocks. Can't have that. Can't have that in the Guardian Mirror. Levi's is pretty spicy, though. Interesting. Is this card better than Icequake? It might be. Being in 0 cost is kind of cool. Okay, we have an Icequake plus something else. We have a Spinal. I feel like I'm kind of happy blocking like 11 here. They hit, but they make a Frostbite. I feel like we can't let them hit, obviously. I feel like that's the block. And then we make Frostbites on our turn. We don't care. We go to 4. Still have this in Arsenal that if they like take a turn off to like Sledge or something, we can use to pretty good effect. And then what else are we doing? So I guess like trying to think through if there's a different line. I don't think there is because I feel like this is like presenting lethal basically. So I think this is right. It does feel a little bit scary because now we've kind of like given up tempo, but I think it's okay. And we do find Unforgetting Unforgiving, which I think is pretty useful right now. Because we still have one Mangle in the deck. I think we do. Okay, Channel Mount Eisen is scary, but if they attack us, it's actually funny because we can like break the Frostbites. Which is I think exactly what we're gonna do. So we'll block with Root Bound and then break the Frostbites with. Oh, but the problem is I guess we can't Unforgetting Unforgiving if we do that. They gotta pummel up. So we'll take 2 off Eisen if we do this and we don't use Carapace. But if we do use Carapace, then what happens? I'm thinking this through. So, Unforgetting Unforgiving. What if we do Unforgetting Unforgiving plus... hold on, let me just tell them I'm thinking. So if we do Unforgetting Unforgiving plus Carapace, pitching a blue, we tutor for Mangle, which we can play on our turn for 4, which would take these 2. Alternatively, is we give Unforgetting Unforgiving, we take 2 damage, we get Mangle, we can then play Winner's Bite. No, we can't play Winner's Bite plus that. So it'd have to be, I feel like the play is to just take the Frostbites, pitching a blue, and then send 8 with this. Or alternatively, we can just sludge them. This is a very interesting turn, though. I feel like the Root Bound is like the highest value here. It's kind of interesting. I don't think we decompose either. So I think we just do this. Then on our turn, we just play out Mangle. They have to give 2 or 3 cards to this, basically. Feels weird. Oh, we do eat the Frostbites from the Eisen, which I think has some amount of value tied to it. So I feel like it's either 2 cards in equipment here or 3 cards here, which I think is good. I think we also have at least like a Pummeler 2 coming around, right? Yeah, we should. I don't know if Pummel's good in this situation. Probably not. Alright, get him down to 1. Alright, I don't think Pummel's actually good in this situation. Okay, and Felling is pretty bad. So is Heart. This guy is prepared for the Guardian Mirror. Alright, so I think we're just blocking 7 here, taking 1. So our Eisen goes away. Give him back tempo, which is pretty bad. But we can probably stabilize here. We still do have our Trunks up as well, which is not nothing. I feel like I don't mind CLF here. Maybe. We block 6, send 6. I think we're fine. I want to leave the Earth card, the Ice Earth card here. So if we block 6 like here, send 6, seems good. It's definitely getting close though, in terms of deck. Pass. It's weird that the pummels were right next to each other, too. We get a 1 here. It's kind of scary. This is a dominated Mangle. Okay. Do we die here? Gain 2. We can block 3. I think we're just dead, right? Yeah, it's just dead. Rip. We were so close. Fortunately, we also have to do this. Yeah. Damn, that was a close game. 1-1, basically. I think they're a little bit better teched for the Guardian Mirror. Potentially. Let's take the game. Horrifying Ult's pretty good. I'm trying to see what else they have. It's kind of an interesting deck. They have like Pulverize, Oasis. I don't think the Oasis were all that good, but the Exposed Elements I think was probably the biggest card there, honestly. Just getting the early 1 counter seems pretty impactful because they were just able to frostbite us a lot more than we could frostbite them. Yeah, but overall it's pretty close, I think. Yeah, not bad. Well, I think that's gonna wrap it up for F tier Fridays. Again, this could just be an F tier deck. I don't actually think Jarl's like actually all that bad. But I think he does just have like a pretty abysmal Enigma matchup, which I think you can maybe try to compensate for like blue and red Summer's Fall. But again, I think that matchup is kind of like a lost cause basically, because even then it feels just like so insurmountable. But there are maybe some kind of card considerations I can consider here. So like Plowunder might make it in at some point. I think that like the shell here is pretty good. It's maybe like this like sideboard I need to try to figure out. But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up today. If you have any ideas for Jarl, let me know. Again, I just have been like toying around with this deck more than anything. I'm not taking it super seriously, but he is a lot of fun. So he has that going for him at least. Well, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.